All right, everybody. Sorry, I had a little bit of a malfunction there with my AirPods. Let me just make sure the audio is set up correctly here. Okay, good, good. So the mic's on, AirPods are connected to the laptop. My goodness, sorry about that, guys. But welcome to DSM Pre Game Show live. We are here to discuss the Pistons coming into town to take on the Sixers. Second game in a row going against the Detroit Pistons for the Philadelphia 76ers. Obviously, we're going to cover that. We'll go over keys to victory, best bets, all of the above. And then, of course, we'll finish with predictions as always. Looking at this game, you obviously are coming off the win with the Sixers, 123 to 111 in Detroit for that last one. We're going to go over that as well before we get into tonight's action. But nonetheless, before we get into all of that, be sure if you're not already, if you're watching, you're obviously already on the DSM Media YouTube channel. We are growing there. We're trying to grow more. That's where we want all of our followers, our listeners, our subscribers from every social media platform. We want them to all gravitate over to the YouTube channel. That is where we want to build our community and interact with all of you. So be sure, hit that subscribe button. If you already have done that, turn the notifications on, ring the bell so you're notified every single time DSM Media goes live, including all of our DSM Media pregame shows for all of Philly sports. Along with that, of course, if you don't know me by now, I am your host, Scotty. You can find me at Scotty Drowned. I also want to start here before we get into the content of the show. Want to shout out our sponsors over at Gents Barber Lounge. As you know, DSM Media is brought to you by Gents Barber Lounge. Check out one of the two great locations in Fishtown and Old City and book your appointment today. Gents owns the craft, and it shows rated the #1 barbershop on Yelp in the Philadelphia area. Multiple award-winning barbers and being able to handle any style of cut, adult or kid. Let us take a look at some of Gents' work really quick here. All right, perfect. Shout out to Gents Barber Lounge. Be sure to check out gentsbarberlounge.com. Book your appointment today to get one of the best haircuts you could possibly get in the Philadelphia area. And, of course, shout out our sponsors over at luxadin.com. Use code DSM for 25% off and free shipping off of all jewelry on luxadin.com. Check it out. With that being said, guys, let's get into it. And remember, be sure to comment on the channel here. Get involved in the show. Let us know how you're feeling. We will get everybody involved here. Thank you guys for getting us to 700 subscribers. It took a while. It's a grind, obviously, in this business where so many people are looking for eyes, looking for people to watch their show. So thank you for helping us get to 700 subscribers. 800 is the next goal. Lego. That's what I'm talking about. Lego. Let's get started with the show here. First, just want to get into a little bit of what took place in the last matchup for the Sixers. Obviously, as I said earlier, that was against the Detroit Pistons, the same team they played tonight. 123-111 win for the Sixers in that one. You had James Harden with his triple-double in this game. Of course, I bet the triple-double the game before James Harden gets a triple-double. He almost had one. I think he was 3 rebounds short against the Chicago Bulls on Friday for a triple-double. I bet him for a triple-double on Friday against the Chicago Bulls. He comes out on Sunday, gets it nonetheless. A game too late for myself. 20 points, 11 rebounds, 11 assists in this one. Shot 3 for 5 from the three-point line, so he was efficient from the free throw line, which was great. Aside from James Harden, you look at Tyrese Maxey in this one, 23 points, 2 rebounds, 2 for 9 from the three-point line. Obviously, Friday night, you saw a little bit of the old Tyrese Maxey giving you the efficient shooting numbers, right? That against the Pistons, not so much, 2 for 9 from the three-point line. A little bit of a rougher shooting night, but nonetheless, getting up above that 23-point mark. That's right around his average before he went out with the injury. So you love to see Tyrese Maxey getting reacclimated, getting back to normal, right? Along with him, you had Trez having another great game with Embiid out, 20.6 rebounds, 8 for 11 from the field. Along with Trez, you had the guy that was backing him up that night. Obviously, no PJ Tucker, no small ball center being played. You had Paul Reed getting some minutes, 16 points, 12 rebounds, gives you a double-double, 6 for 7 from the field, only missed one shot. So he and Trez combined for 36 points, 18 rebounds, combined 14 for 18 from the field. That is what you want out of your backup centers, right? That's all you could ask for. Those are kind of close to Embiid numbers, right? When you put them together. Not the 18 rebounds, of course, that's a little over, but nonetheless, you're getting what you need out of those two while Embiid's been out. Embiid returns tonight, so no worries going forward. Killian Hayes in this one, 26.6 assists, 4 rebounds, 4 for 8 from the three-point line. Isaiah Stewart, 20 points, 13 rebounds for the Pistons. And also for the Pistons, Bogdanovich, 20 points, 5 assists. Some key things to point out about this game against the Pistons. Sixers were able to win the rebounding battle. We know how bad the Sixers struggle with rebounding. They also won the turnover battle. So a lot of what we've been harping on the last few shows, control the controllables. That's what good teams do. At the very least, whenever your shot's not falling, you have guys out with injury. There's things that you can do to still try to win games. There's things that you can do to be fundamentally sound. Control the controllables. They won the rebounding battle. They won the turnover battle. They led by 23 points at one point in the game. That was the largest lead that they carried. And ultimately, you kept Harden under 30 minutes in this game. That was under 30 minutes of play. He got that triple-double. I believe he was at 28 minutes in this game. Love to see that. That's what I would like to see tonight. I would love to see it with Embiid, Harden, Tobias, all of these guys. Get these guys some rest. And as we get prepared for this West Coast road trip that's coming up here soon. So these are all things that I'm looking at tonight. It's things that you saw, that you loved from this previous game. And that's quite frankly what the Sixers should be doing to teams like the Detroit Pistons, who are at the bottom of the Eastern Conference. Just to give you an overview, obviously we didn't do the pregame show on Sunday, so we didn't get to talk about the Pistons much. We're not going to talk about them too much here today. Obviously, they're just not that good. No Cade Cunningham. He's out for season. Sadiq Bey in the midst of a slump. Jaden Ivey, he's a solid rookie, just doesn't shoot the ball really well. So they got some things to figure out there in Detroit. A lot of, veteran pieces that kind of don't mix with being the worst team in the Eastern Conference, right? So some guys they can look to kind of get them out of Detroit, maybe onto a contender. I appreciate this comment, D-Rab. I appreciate this comment, man. Go Birds, because you remind me I'm still in bird mode, man. I'm still in bird mode in here. We gotta rep the Sixers tonight, but nonetheless, go Birds, man. Locking up that 1 seed. That's what we love to see. But thank you for that reminder, because I still had it green in here. It was we still had the positive vibes from Sunday going in here. Nonetheless, looking at this Detroit Pistons team, last in the Eastern Conference, 11-32 on the season. Maybe they're in the Victor Wembanyama sweepstakes, right? They've lost 2 in a row. They're 6-18 on the road. Obviously, they're on the road tonight against the Sixers. You look at their most recent trends. They're 3-7 in their last 10. You look at the 4 major statistics categories that you can measure a team by here. Points per game, 24th in the league, so bottom half. Rebounds per game, 18th in the league. Assists per game, 27th. Opponents' points per game, 29th. And that's going to be the key one there for them tonight. Can they stop the Sixers from scoring? Because we know what the Sixers can do on their side of the defensive end. You look at the Sixers on the other side, they're 24-15, so they're well above that 500 mark now. Looking back just a couple weeks ago, we were begging for them to show us some consistency. They have done that. They've gotten themselves to 24-15. 5th in the Eastern Conference. Look around the Eastern Conference, guys. I wanted to point this out during this show because KD just went down with an MCL sprain. He's going to be out for at least a month, right? They might keep him out until after the All-Star break. So KD's going to be out. What happens to the Brooklyn Nets? During that span, you have 2 matchups with the Boston Celtics, 2 matchups with the Sixers, matchup with the Heat, a couple others mixed in there, but those being the main ones where you're going to run into competition that you kind of need KD for. Now, it's all barring health of the other teams. So you look at the Nets, they're only 2 games up of the fifth seed. They're at the second seed right now, so there's some room for them to drop without KD. You look at the Milwaukee Bucks; they're just not playing well right now. Chris Middleton coming back in and out of the lineup. Drew Holiday in and out of the lineup. So the Bucks just aren't flowing well. The Cavs have looked solid, right? They're about where they should be, in my opinion. The first year together, first year with D. Mitch. There's room to grow is what I'm getting at. There's room for the Sixers to move up here. And the key for that, you look at what their upcoming schedule looks like. I mentioned the West Coast road trip, but you're going against teams that you should beat, quite honestly. I mean, we got Detroit tonight. You got the Oklahoma City Thunder. You have the Utah Jazz. You have the LA Lakers. That's your next four. You should be able to string 5 wins in a row, including the last one against Detroit from Sunday. You should be able to string 5 wins in a row right now and get even further up in those Eastern Conference standings, even further away from that 500 mark, and solidifying yourself further as a playoff contender, as an Eastern Conference contender. After that, you get like the LA Clippers. You go on down the line, which once again, with Embiid, those are winnable games. But the point is, take advantage of the teams that you are supposed to beat, especially when they're stacked in a row like this. It gives you opportunity to make some really good ground in the Eastern Conference. And that goes for any team, right? You look at the Sixers recently, 7-3 in their last 10. So they've been playing some really good ball. Obviously, December was great for the Sixers. They're 16-6 at home. They had that 11 game home winning streak snapped against the Bulls on Friday. Obviously, Levine, man, what the hell? I had to bring this up tonight, and I'm going to bring it up again later when we talk about keys of victory, but it just feels like in order for the Sixers to lose, somebody's going to have to shoot like 10 plus, make 10 plus threes for the opposing team. You had it back-to-back Fridays with CJ McCollum. He hit like 11 or 12 threes. And then Zach LaVine hits like 11 or 12 threes against us the very next Friday night in Philadelphia. It's just so annoying. But nonetheless, they've won 1 in a row. They lost to Chicago on Friday. They're 7-3 in their last 10. 4 major statistical categories, points per game. Sixers are 16th. They're making some ground there. Obviously, guys coming back from injury. They are moving up in the points per game standings, looking like a better offensive team. Rebounding per game, 28th. Just hovering in that bottom 3, bottom 4 as far as rebounding teams. Assists per game, 16th. Obviously, that's improving with Harden being back. And then opponents' points per game. They did drop the third. They were second for a couple weeks there. They dropped the third. Let's keep in mind, Embiid has just been out for 2-3 games. So whenever you don't have your anchor in the middle, your MVP, it's a little hard to control the defensive end of the ball the way you normally do. But nonetheless, still third. That's really good. Top 3 in the NBA as far as the defensive unit. So we obviously can we finally give Matisse some consistent burn? It's an interesting question. Matisse for me still is a conditional player, conditional rotational player. It's all about matchups for me. Now to that point, Chicago, Matisse would have got a ton of minutes for me. Against some of these other teams, I don't know. When the Sixers are fully healthy, I'm not taking away minutes from Melton. I would put Melton in Matisse's spots in most cases. I'm not taking minutes away from Melton in order to get Matisse more minutes on the regular. But with that being said, I do agree in some instances, Matisse definitely night to night, I would say, yeah, maybe at least 5 minutes, right? There's nights where he just doesn't even see the floor at all. So I think that's a little bit of a reach by Doc, and maybe he's in the doghouse. But I don't know. He's shown improvements, right? He's more active on offense. He looks like he knows what he's doing a lot of the time on offense, which was the first thing with Matisse Thybulle. But yeah, I mean it's a good suggestion nonetheless. When you're talking about perimeter defense, you need guys that can stop guards from getting in the lane and creating for others, and that's been a big hiccup for the Sixers this season. So yeah, Matisse Thybulle, you can always use defense. He's been shooting the ball better. Yeah, I would say I would agree with you. Overall, I started out disagreeing, kind of agree with you in a sense. It's more matchup based for me, but there's still a place for him to get minutes there on a night-to-night basis. But if it's taken away from Melton, not a chance. Not a chance I'm taking Melton off the floor. Ready to relax on the squad. Hey, I feel you, man. It takes time. Obviously, things are starting to come together a little bit better right now, Phil. we had to give him time, right, to figure things out. D'Anthony Melton, right? He had to figure his spot out, and that time without Maxey, without Harden, that gave him more than enough time to figure that out, and I think that helped him a lot with just figuring out his role, what he can contribute to this team, and now he sees, like, have the green light, man. Shoot the three ball. We need it as much as we can when you're spacing the floor for Embiid, for Harden, trying to give them room to do their thing. You need 3-point shooters, and you need defense, right? He's scrappy, he plays defense, he plays physical, he rebounds. All of the things Sixers have wanted, right, out of a guard and what they've needed ultimately, D'Anthony Melton has found. And yeah, we can relax in a sense, but there still are these red flags from time to time that we have to watch out for when they're playing good competition. But tonight, I think you're probably as confident as me by now, Phil, right? These guys are going to take care of business. Obviously, Embiid's back. I had to throw in the Embiid jersey. But nonetheless, I like what the Sixers are doing. We got to appreciate what they're doing of late and just hope that it can get better, keep on being consistent, and maybe even move up a little in the Eastern Conference standings. Let's get to keys to victory, though, here. We're about halfway through the show already. No keys to victory on the board, but let's get started here. First key to victory is an easy one, right? Remain focused. You got to remain locked in during this stretch. As I mentioned, you got some weak competition coming up, but that doesn't mean that they're not NBA teams, right? These are teams that can still beat you on any given night, and you have to take advantage of this easy streak that you have coming up. You have the Detroit Pistons, the Oklahoma City Thunder, the Utah Jazz, and the LA Lakers. Your next four, as I mentioned earlier, perfect opportunity to build a 5-game winning streak when you add in the previous matchup with Detroit on Sunday. You just played this team, right? So you just saw how they played. They just saw how you play. There was no Embiid in that game, so that should give the Sixers a little bit of an advantage, right? A little bit of an advantage. Set in-game goals is kind of what I'm thinking here, is a way to kind of mitigate the fact that you're not playing the greatest competition in the world, or the motivation might not be there every single night. Good way to kind of mitigate that. Doc Rivers, set in-game goals for this unit. Win the turnover battle, win the rebounding battle. Similar to what we do on this show before every Sixers game, I give you a pregame goal of the game. Go out there and do that. That's what the Sixers kind of need to do during this 4-game stretch where you're playing weak competition. Set in-game goals. Let's hold LeBron under 25 points, right? If you're playing the Lakers, or you're playing the Oklahoma City Thunder, don't let SGA get over 20 points in that game. Utah Jazz, strap up Lauri Markkanen. Don't let him hit over 2 threes in that game. Just little things like that you can keep there just to motivate yourself to show that you are making improvements and not just beating a weaker team, a weaker competition. The next key to victory, continuing to work Maxey in. I loved what they've been able to do during this time without Embiid, which is ultimately get Maxey a bunch of shots that he just might not get on a given night whenever he's playing with Embiid. You get him this time without Embiid, you get these shots, you get his efficiency back, you get his confidence back. Now he can come out there with Embiid tonight, know his place, and still be able to do the things that he needs to do while feeling comfortable. You gave him some time to get acclimated, man, and I think that's a good thing, especially when you talk about how Embiid is such a dominating scorer. He gets the ball a lot, right? So that means the ball's coming out of other people's hands. A lot of the time, the ball is in James Harden hands. They're running pick and roll. They do that. They should be doing it 70% of the game whenever those two guys are in. But nonetheless, they do it a lot. Averaging 24.5 points in his last two. Obviously, he's getting back to normal, getting up over his average before he was injured. Can he just continue to get involved in other ways? I liked in the game previous to the last against the Pistons, against the Bulls. He obviously shot the ball efficiently from the three-point line. He had about 4 or 5 threes in that game, but he also rebounded the ball well. He was assisting well. In this last game, only 2 rebounds, or 2 assists, 0 rebounds. He did have 23 points, but I would like to just see him get involved in other ways in the game, help out this team. Obviously, the Sixers struggle with rebounding. They obviously struggle with playmaking outside of James Harden. So those are all areas where Tyrese Maxey can continue to get involved more. But nonetheless, love what I'm seeing from Tyrese Maxey. Just keep it up, my man. Keep it up. You'll get there. The final key to victory for tonight against the Detroit Pistons, and this is probably going forward, as I mentioned earlier, defend the 3, man. We just got to guard it better, right? Being one of the better defensive teams in the NBA, you have to be able to defend the 3. especially when it's all coming from one player. You look at these last two losses for the Sixers against the Bulls, against the Pelicans. They suffered from two shooters hitting over 10 threes, 10 plus threes in those said games. That is the common denominator. Obviously, they're not good at rebounding. They're not good at other things, but that is the common denominator in the last two losses. So control the three-point line, put a focus on it, emphasis. Let's control the three-point line, defend the three-point line. Last two losses resulted from players erupted for 10 plus three. That just can't happen. You got to have more focus in that and be better at adjusting, right? That's one of those things, like I was talking about with Phil. You talk about Matisse Thybulle. Make an adjustment in game, right? Zach LaVine has hit 7 threes. He's shooting like 7 for 8 from the 3-point line. Let's get Matisse Thybulle in the game full time on Zach LaVine. Let's make an adjustment. That is their only way of scoring right now, right? If you're hitting that many threes, that means a guy is shooting the ball a lot from the 3-point line. That's the only way they're scoring at that point. Same thing with CJ McCollum. Where's Matisse Thybulle? I know we love DeAnthony Melton. Matisse Thybulle, I would say, is a better perimeter defender, especially when he can get consistent minutes. So that's the key there. But just adjustments, being able to adjust to the way things are shaping out in the game. And that goes along with defending the three, putting an emphasization on that. So let's do it. Defend the three. Continue to work Maxey and keep him involved and remain focused. It's a little bit of weaker competition, but these are all NBA teams. Thank you for checking in, D-Rab. I appreciate the love. Moving on to, let me see here, get our banners corrected. We're going to do predictions, X Factor, and goal of the night. Predictions. Sixers are going to win this game, man. Embiid's returning. I'm wearing the jersey. I'm excited to see Embiid out there. I want to see how healthy he is, if that ankle's bothering him at all, the foot that he re-injured last week against the Pelicans. I want to see if that's bothering him at all. Is he 100% out there? They have the over set at 30.5 points. I actually love that, even with it being the Pistons. Maybe this is an early curtain call game for Embiid. I think they're going to try to get Embiid in rhythm. Harden maybe takes the night off, more of a passer facilitator tonight with Embiid back, getting him the ball a lot, I would imagine. But Sixers are going to win this game. They just need to take care of business as always. This would be a terrible game to drop, right? When you're trying to build something, you're about to go on a West Coast road trip. Let's go ahead and grab this win at home. Take care of business against a weak Pistons team that you just played on Sunday. Beat them in their house. You talk about X factor of the game. I'm going to go the same route I went on Sixers pregame against the Bulls on Friday night last time I saw you guys. Tyrese Maxey, he's the key. Obviously, Embiid's going to be back tonight. He could be the key. He could be the X factor every single night. Harden could be the X factor every single night. And Maxey will get to that point where he could be the X factor every single night. But as of right now, he's not. And tonight, he will be. He's going to come out. He's the youth. He's the joyous, the franchise of this team, right? I look for Tyrese Maxey to eclipse that 20-plus point mark again, building some consistency there. 3+ threes. I think he's going to be a little bit more efficient than he was last game where he shot 2 for 9. He's back home, and I know Maxey. He gets back in the gym. He works on it, and he'll be better tonight. 3+ assists. I know it's not a lot. He had 2 last game. I'm not asking for him to step up too much. Excuse me. No, I was right earlier. He had 2 rebounds, 0 assists last game. So 3+ assists. Let's get involved facilitating as well. Whenever Harden's not on the floor, I like to see Maxey running that unit. 20+ points, 3+ threes, 3+ assists tonight for Maxey. Actually love those props as well if you have those available to you. But I'm looking for Maxey to be the X factor of the game. So we got the Sixers winning, Tyrese Maxey X factor, goal of the game, win early. Just like Sunday night, be able to get your guys some rest. You got Joel Embiid coming back. Hey, let's not run him 35+ minutes tonight against the Detroit Pistons at home. Let's get him out of there in under 30, right? 30 or less minutes for Embiid, Harden, so on and so forth tonight. Even Maxey's coming back from an injury. Let's get these guys some rest tonight. Keep them under 30 minutes. Get that early win. Build an early lead. Come out hot. Focus. Locked in on the defensive end. Hit your shots early. You're at home. You should be in good rhythm, in your comfortable zone, right? Make some moves here tonight, Sixers, and take care of this one early. Get your guys some rest. Harden's been playing his ass off while Embiid's out. Get him some rest. Win this one early, guys. That's the goal of the game. My favorite part of the show, guys. Let me get them to you. I know it's 6:45. We got 15 minutes till the technical game time. But I doubt it starts it right at 7. But let me get these best bets out to you. I don't have a graphic tonight. We've been in the midst of some moving around here at DSM, so I didn't have any time to get you a graphic. But we will be back with graphics going forward. Best bets of the night. I have 3 of them for you. The first one being Maxey over 2.5 threes. I mentioned it earlier. I absolutely love that play. He's getting back to his normal volume, shooting around 8 to 9, 7 to 9 threes a game. I look for that to continue tonight. I expect him to come out aggressive, confident as he has been the last few games. He was 2 for 9 last game. Just continue that volume. I think he hits 3 threes tonight. He also hit 3+ threes in the game before last. So just looking for him to build some consistency there. Maxey over 2.5 threes tonight is at +112. Absolutely smashed that prop. You look at James Harden assists over 10.5 at +102. That is the second best bet prop of the night that I'm smashing. That is at +102 once again on FanDuel. Reason I'm smashing that, obviously, he had the 11 assists last game with the triple-double. I like him to get to that mark again, but with Embiid. Embiid makes it 10 times easier to get up into the double-digit assist column for Harden. He can get 6 or 7 assists just to Embiid off the pick and roll. I love Harden going over the 10.5 assist mark tonight. He averages 10.8 assists on the season anyways. The final play of the night, this is a little bit of a safer one, not as much juice. We have Tobias Harris over 5.5 rebounds. That is sitting at -138. I was honestly gonna go ahead and smash the 6.5 rebounds, over 6.5 rebounds for Tobias Harris tonight. They moved the line down with Embiid returning. That did not deter me one bit. I'm happy to lay the 5.5 rebound mark for Tobias Harris at -138. He's actually eclipsed that 5.5 mark in 4 of his last 5. So he's getting down in there, helping on the boards. Maybe no PJ Tucker tonight. Maybe that gives Tobias even more opportunity for boards. But nonetheless, the Sixers need help down there. I think Tobias is making a notion to go down there and get some boards. What's up, Steve? Thank you for checking in. Looking for any more podcasters. We are always searching for more podcasters. Of course, content creators, podcasters, send over samples. We will definitely check out as soon as we can, see if we can get you on board. But definitely always on the lookout for talent. Trust the Harden slip since it's the Pistons. See, Willie, I feel you on that because it gets testy night to night. But the thing about Harden and Embiid and these props and what makes them so tough on a night against the Pistons is they might not play the whole game. That's the thing that always worries me. Steve, you can definitely message me on any social media platform. You can find me at Scotty Drown. I'll definitely get back to you. But yeah, that's where you can reach me. Prefer not to do that in the comments though, Steve. But yeah, just contact me in the DMs. Trust the Harden slip. But yeah, that's the funniest one for me here. I feel you because it's easy competition. You trust it. And I know you're trolling a little bit there as well with Harden. Harden's been really good this year. But the funny thing about these games is that you just never know how many minutes they're going to play. Like Harden got that triple-double last game, 20, 11, and 11. He did that in under 30 minutes, right? 28 minutes. That doesn't happen very often, right? That's a highly productive night and a limited amount of minutes. I usually like Embiid specifically, those props against high competition. You talk about Embiid points, the over. Anytime they're playing some heavy competition, I will always take the over on Embiid points. Harden, I'm always going to lean towards assists, 3-pointers for Harden, just because of the points. There's nights where he only scores 11, right? And that's just what the Sixers call for from a night-to-night basis. Maxey, you can get into everything with Maxey because my man's got some juice to him. He is the franchise. He fills all the boxes. And DeAnthony Melton, if you guys haven't noticed the trends, DeAnthony Melton is a guy that I've been riding this year. The threes, I love DeAnthony Melton rebounds game to game. And then Tobias, for a long time, the 3-pointers were a good play. He was hitting there was like a 10-game stretch where he hit two plus threes in each game. But he's kind of came back down to earth in this last 2 weeks or so, and really hasn't been hitting that mark. So I've kind of fell off Tobias. We're going back to him tonight for some rebounds because he's been hitting the mark there. But nonetheless, I feel you, Willie. Trust the slip tonight. Only if the 76ers can play well. Yeah, that's part of it as well, man. Sixers got to play well. I think they do tonight against a weak Detroit Pistons team. But you just never know, right? They lost to the Houston Rockets earlier this season during James Harden's return. That was a game, honestly, didn't see coming. But nonetheless, I do have them winning this game tonight. Sixers win. Maxi's your X factor of the game. Goal of the game, win early. Take care of business early against this team. Best bets of the night, Maxi over 2.5 threes at plus 112. Harden assists over 10.5 assists tonight for Harden at plus 102. And Tobias Harris over 5.5 rebounds at minus 138. Those are going to be your best bet props of the night from here on DSM Pre Game Live. You got a Sixers W. You got your props, your best bets. Go ahead and lock those in. Guys, have a great rest of your night. That is all I have for you tonight. Be sure if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button on the YouTube channel. That is where we're trying to grow our community, where we're trying to interact with you all. Share your thoughts. Let us know how you're feeling. And, of course, you can find me on all social media platforms at Scotty Drown. Hit that follow button and let me know how you're feeling. If you're like Steve, if you're looking to create content, if you're looking for an opportunity, you can reach out to me directly. You can reach out to Dylan. You can reach out to anyone here at DSM, and we will get you to the right place. A lot of people keep saying fire Doc. What's your opinion on that? I'm not a guy that likes in-season moves like that. I'll be honest with you there, Steve. Once you get to this point, we're about halfway through the season to the trade deadline, right? We're getting to All-Star break. That's usually the halfway, 3/4 mark of the season for the NBA. I don't like making major moves like that. You're talking about a team that's 5th in the Eastern Conference right now. Make the playoffs. They have a real chance of winning the NBA championship. I don't think you mess with that too much. They may bring in a small piece to add to the roster, but as far as a head coaching switch from Doc Rivers, I would have done it at the beginning of the season, before the season started. Just to be clear, I'm not a Doc Rivers fan. I would have fired him in the offseason and let somebody start the season with this squad and see what they can do. It's too late for that now. I'm not doing it mid-season. Maybe even a quarter of the way through the season, I would have done it. A third. Halfway through the season, I can't fire my head coach, especially when they're in the 5th spot in the Eastern Conference. They're getting guys healthier now. They're playing better basketball. Just no reason for it right now. But if this thing flounders out, Steve, by the end of this season, postseason, they go one and done first round, get exited in the second round again, or maybe even the first round, yeah, it's time for Doc to go. If you're able to bring Embiid and Harden back after that, now you see what they look like with a competent coach, I would say. But for now, we're riding with Doc. We got to see what he's got, even in the postseason. We're gonna live and die with Doc this year, right? And we know what that means, right? Second round, it's probably gonna cost us. But here's hoping for the best. Here's hoping for a Sixers finals trip. Or at least an Eastern Conference Finals trip. Please, God, get us out of the second round. But, guys, that's all I got for you tonight. Have a great rest of your Tuesday evening there. Go Sixers. Enjoy the night. And we will be back, I believe, Thursday to break down the OKC matchup. I will be right here with you guys, just like all Sixers games. Sorry I missed you on Sunday. Obviously, the Birds playing. Anytime the Birds are playing, you're not going to catch a Sixers pregame on a Sunday. But outside of that, we will get you covered with all Sixers games here. Have a great night, guys. Go Sixers. Let's cash tickets.